Good morning, Florida lacrosse fans. Friday morning, next to last day of the regular season. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Lee Roggenberg, Florida Lacrosse News. If you haven't already done so, see that little button where it says subscribe. Please hit it. It'll make your day. It'll certainly make mine. And please like the video if you do so. Before I get into this, just a couple of minutes ago, I'm part of a Facebook page called Ask Boca, where people will kind of ask questions, get some recommendations. Someone mentioned about how they have their 16-year-old coming in next week for a visit, and they want to know things to do since they're a sports fan. So I mentioned, well, we have the high school lacrosse playoffs starting next week. Why don't you take them to a game and then maybe just baked Boca for dessert afterwards? Referee Kevin Paustian saw that, liked the quote, and then believe it or not, someone just also posted saying that they've got a relative coming in from France, a teenager, and wanted to know where to take the kid to see some of the games. So you never know when you continue to try to grow the game how that form can sometimes occur. And in this case, it was as simple as a Facebook page where someone wanted to know where to take their kid to have a little bit of fun next week. So, think about it. If we always talk about hashtag TAFTAG, and that goes hand in hand with grow the game. If you know someone who's never been to a game, next week you've got all these district games out there. Pretty cheap entertainment, certainly cheaper than going to the movies, and you're outdoors instead of indoors. So, think about it and make sure you get someone to go out to a game with you. Okay, last night, interesting night. Not a lot of big games. One I kind of talked about a little bit yesterday, Creekside hosting Vieira, and why that was kind of important to me. And the interesting thing is that Vieira actually played them fairly decently in the first half. It was 8-7 at the half. Now, to be fair, Creekside was on their senior night, and it certainly showed like there was a bit of a hangover in their attitude in the first half. And certainly they were pretty sloppy, although Vieira did some very nice things on offense. I found that there were some times they were able to get inside on the Creekside defense, and that was very encouraging for them. Unfortunately, Creekside went all out in the second half and won that half 14-2, and it was basically because Vieira pretty much lost every faceoff. And if you don't have possession, you're just not going to be able to do those good things on offense that you did in the first half. But either way, I'm happy the game was played. Creekside, thank you for taking the game. Vieira, thanks for making the trip. This is a perfect example of why you do these types of trips and games. Now Vieira has a pretty good idea from what happened in the second half on how they're going to go ahead and improve as a program over the next couple of years. And, there certainly were some very nice things I saw out of Vieira last night. And once Creekside got going offensively, they were pretty much able to get inside at will, and that's really what turned the game around. I will say that the Vieira goalie, Johnny Lynch, had a really good first half. Even though, some of the shots kind of made a little bit easier, he certainly came up with a lot of really good saves in that first half, too. I don't have a save count, but I suspect it's over 15 easily. And let's coaches, let's get a couple of more of these games in as we go along. When someone who's struggling to make that next step up of their program gives a call, don't reject it out of hand. Think it through and remember that part of growing the game is also being willing to play these types of games. And also last night, very interesting score. I found Community School handling Riverview, Sarasota very easily, 16-6. And that was just kind of jump out and get ahead and stay ahead the whole game. Community School, which you'll see in our Who's In, Who's Out broadcast tonight, has now leaped over Canterbury, I believe it is, in their district, and is poised to have the home field in the districts. And last night's result certainly doesn't hurt them in any way, shape, or manner. And now we've kind of got a bit of a sleeper team to deal with in 1A down in Region 3. And it'll be interesting to see how they handle their playoff run. University School 10-3 over Palmer Trinity. Martin County 12-3 over Jensen Beach. That's a very nice win for Martin County. St. John Paul 14-6 at home over Gulliver Prep. Lake Buena Vista 11-10 over East River. Lake Mineola 17-9 over Apopka. Sebastian River 16-7 over Satellite. Pinecrest 12-5 over Boca Raton. Lake Wales 6-4 over Lakeland Christian. Sarasota 13-10 over Immokalee. Buchholz 8-6 over St. Augustine. John Carroll 11-4 over Palm Beach Gardens. Alonzo 11-3 over Lakeland. Holy Trinity 13-8 over Timber Creek. That's another nice win for Holy Trinity. I believe they're now 11-1 on the year with a couple of cancellations. Easy winners last night on the boys' side: Maclay, Olympia, Forest, Fort Myers, Plant, St. Stephen's, Spanish River, Riverdale, Lake Howell, Providence, Estero, and as I mentioned, Creekside. On the girls' side last night, Palmetto 11-5 over Westminster Christian. South Plantation 17-10 over Fort Lauderdale. That pretty much finishes Fort Lauderdale's chances of an at-large bid, unless they win their district, which doesn't seem likely. Lyman 19-18 over Edgewater. Dr. Phillips 5-4 over Lake Buena Vista. Milton 6-4 over Pensacola up north. Palm Beach Central 14-7 over Jensen Beach. Lake Wales 17-10 over Windermere Prep. Fort Myers 9-4 over Cypress Lake. And Lakewood Ranch 8-4 over Sarasota. Easy winners on the girls' side last night: St. Stephen's, Kings Academy, Lake Mineola, South Walton, Forest, Golden Gate, South Walton. I'm sorry, that's twice. Episcopal School, Olympia, St. Augustine, Gulf Coast, Calvary Clearwater Christian. Before we get to the games tonight, very large contingency of college games on the weekend. And before we get to that, of course, we've got this. If you think we ought to make up morning coffee mugs, let me know. Okay, on the schedule. Today, the only game today on the college side, Weber men are hosting Kaiser. Kaiser women are hosting Life today. That Weber men hosting Kaiser is tomorrow and Saturday. Ave Maria women hosting Life on Saturday. Jacksonville University men hosting Richmond on Saturday. Big game, and if you're in the area, Jared Chenoy will be playing for Richmond. University of Florida women hosting Old Dominion. Stetson women at Liberty on Saturday. The JU women host Kennesaw State on Saturday. Flagler men travel to Shorter on Saturday. Embry-Riddle men host St. Leo on Saturday. Palm Beach Atlantic men host Florida Tech on Saturday. Rollins men host Lynn on Saturday. Number 1, Tampa. Tampa men hosting Florida Southern on Saturday. The Rollins women are hosting Florida Southern on Saturday. Flagler women are hosting Lander on Saturday. The Lynn women are hosting Embry-Riddle on Saturday. The Tampa women are hosting Palm Beach Atlantic on Saturday. And the St. Leo women are hosting Florida Tech on Saturday. We do have a new commitment to put up today. Lake Highland Prep on the girls' side, 2022, Lauren Pittman has committed to Franklin and Marshall. Congratulations, Lauren. We'll have your article up later today. And remember that tonight, if you're not at a game, or even if you are, it's a blowout, you want to put it on your phone, 8 p.m. tonight, varsitysportsnetwork.org, debuting the new version of Who's In, Who's Out for the girls. And at 10 p.m., it'll be the boys version, varsitysportsnetwork.org, 10 p.m., the boys Who's In, Who's Out. Please check in and subscribe to their YouTube channel too, please. Obviously, they're putting a lot of effort into making these broadcasts look great, and they certainly deserve your support when you get to it. It's a marvelous place, by the way, if you're a high school football fan too. Although they cover an awful lot of other sports, their high school football coverage is top-notch. Those who remember Dan LaForest from down here, I believe he was a WQAM guy in the past. He's a major contributor for them and I believe an executive producer for them also. And so there's some great stuff up there. Okay, tonight. Oh boy, have we got some treats around the state tonight. Like all the big games that are left basically on the schedule are tonight. Let's first talk St. Andrews hosting Ponte Vedra. Number one versus number one. Last time I remember this on the last weekend, Ponte Vedra came down to play the Oxbridge Thunderwolves. It was probably 5 years ago now. Maybe 4. The year that Ponte Vedra won the state title. And Oxbridge was number one in the poll. Ponte Vedra came down. It was a terrific back and forth game. Oxbridge had a 7-4 lead going into the fourth, completely controlling tempo. And then Ponte Vedra went nuts in the fourth quarter. 8 goals in the fourth quarter to take over the number one slot in the poll, and went on to win the state championship. So now we have a similar situation. Ponte Vedra's coming down to play, also a number one team in St. Andrews. Two very interesting styles. I'm certainly going to be there. I suggest that anyone who's in the area and doesn't have a game to go to tonight, make your way over. St. Andrews does not charge admission, so this is going to be a wonderful game for you to get and cut your teeth on if you're looking for a game tonight. We also have a lot of other games that are going to have very important ramifications. Benjamin at 11-3 is hosting Jupiter 9-7. The second of the home and home. I believe that Jupiter won the first one. Benjamin will certainly be looking to even the score on that. Those who remember when they were playing for the district championship, it was called the Best Damn District Final in Florida, period. And anytime these two teams get together, you don't know what's going to happen. And they are just huge rivals on the field, friendly off the field, but huge rivals on the field. And these games are fabulous to watch. You've got Plant hosting Jesuit, very similar situation. I believe they call it, I think it's Himes Avenue. I think they referred it to on the Twitter feed. I guess that's where the schools are separated by, kind of like Benjamin and Jupiter are kind of down the road from each other, as are Cardinal Mooney, Riverview, Sarasota, and some of the other rivalries in the areas. And that game should be extraordinary too. Again, you got a very highly ranked 2A against a highly ranked 1A. Can't play in the playoffs anymore like they used to. So this is it for them. Maybe next year, if they were smart, they'd look into home and home, play both games. But I expect a real heck of a game up there for that one too. Lake Mary is hosting St. Edwards. This is also similar, 2A, 1A, can't play in the playoffs. St. Edwards, number 3, tied in the state. Lake Mary, if I remember correctly, I think I had Lake Mary at 3 or 4 this week in 2A. Again, 2 great teams getting together. Perfect game to go into the playoffs off of. If you're in that area up in Lake Mary, it's certainly worth the trip there. I mean, that's just 4 games I just named that are just fantastic right off the bat. Cardinal Mooney, 8-5, is hosting 5-8 Lake Island Prep. That's been quite a nice rivalry that's built over the last 5 years or so, too. Certainly worth the trip in that area. Oxbridge is hosting Wellington tonight, 13-4 Oxbridge, hosting Wellington at 12-4. Key game for at-large rankings. American Heritage Plantation, 8-2, is hosting Berlin Jesuit, 9-3. Heritage has not beaten one of the better teams on the schedule yet, so this is kind of an important game for them. Bartow at 9-7 hosts Key West at 4-8. The only reason I'm kind of mentioning this is that, boy, you talk about long bus trips. Bartow, I believe, is in the kind of like the Lake Wales, Winter Haven type area, and we all know where Key West is and how far it is to get to that. Key West is doing an overnight because they're coming back on Saturday and playing another game in the area too on the way back too. Providence at 7-4 is hosting 8-4 Menendez. 7-7 Haggerty is hosting 10-3 Flagler Palm Coast. East Lake 11-4 is hosting Newsom at 14-2. I'd like to see how well East Lake responds to that game. They played a pretty decent game last game out. And Newsom, after rebounding after the Plant loss, obviously looking to get going for the playoff run. Big game up north for Buchholz at 8-6. They're hosting 8-6 Nice. If they can get past find a way to somehow win this game, they might well sneak into the at-large bid. We've got Bishop Verot at 10-4, hosting 6-7 Baron Collier. That was a traditional rivalry over the years in the past. 9-3 Lake Nona, hosting 13-2 Winter Park. Should be relatively easy for Winter Park. Boone at 11-4 is hosting 7-6 Lake Brantley. Again, implications. Lake Brantley, as you'll see tonight, is now the first team out in their region, so they're looking for a win to get back in. And on Saturday, Leon up in Tallahassee at 6-7 is going to host 9-7 Milton. And really almost no one's playing tomorrow. I think there's only 4 games listed tomorrow. So in effect, tonight's really the end of the regular season. Okay, on the girls' side tonight, really interesting one. 11-2 Mitchell hosting 12-3 Sickles. Sickles continuing the roll in the second half. 9-5 Calvary Christian Clearwater hosting 7-4 Palm Harbor. We got a big one with 12-3 Pinecrest hosting 11-2 Vero Beach. That's a huge game for getting each team ready for their playoff run. Obviously, 1A versus 2A there again. Very highly ranked teams, obviously. Should be a great game if you need a girls' game to go to in the area. 7-4 Oak Halls hosting 9-4 Bowls. 10-5 West Orange hosting 13-3 Oviedo. 11-2 Naples hosting Berkeley Prep at 7-4. You'll see why that's important when you check out the girls' version of who's in, who's out tonight. Tomorrow, we got 2 girls' games, key games, and they're pretty interesting games. Number 1 in 2A Bartram Trail at 14-3 is hosting 9-6 Bishop Moore. Bishop Moore gave a very good game their last outing against a highly ranked team. And Community School at 6-9 hosts Berkeley Prep at 7-4. Community School has really made a late push here to try to get into at-large consideration. They have snuck back into where they're now the second team out. The win over Berkeley would bring them much closer. And Berkeley is actually an at-large bid right now, according to the FHSAA bracket. So this could be a far more important game than people realize. And then Community School going into their district. If they get to the district final, if they win it, great. Obviously, if they get to the district final, a win tonight, and that might get them into that 8th seed. And that would be a remarkable accomplishment given what they went through earlier in the season. And if you don't believe me, go check out their schedule and what they opened the season with, their first 4 games. Okay. Once again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video, please, if you do. Double up on the coffee today. Hashtag TAFTAG, take a friend to a game. Lay off the refs. Enjoy yourself. Grow the game. Keep growing it. Okay, this is Lee Roggenberg, Florida Lacrosse News, saying so long from the Sunshine State.